Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to take on the role of the ultimate urban planners. But, instead of pouring concrete and laying asphalt, we're architecting something infinitely more complex and entirely invisible to the naked eye. We're going to explore this fascinating premise that designing a modern microchip is literally exactly like architecting a hyper-advanced, microscopic smart city.
At first glance, it's just a tiny, unremarkable black square sitting on a circuit board. But seriously, don't let its size fool you. The sheer amount of hidden complexity packed inside this everyday square is staggering. We are talking about billions of individual transistors, entire microscopic metropolises crammed onto a piece of silicon about the size of your fingernail. So how in the world do human engineers actually design something this incredibly dense?
Okay, let's dive into this. Our focus today is the ASIC, which stands for Application-Specific Integrated Circuit. To understand how we build it, we really need to establish exactly what this is. This isn't just some generic piece of tech. This is a custom-designed chip built from the ground up to do one very specific function.
Now, you might be wondering, why go through all that trouble? Why don't we just use standard, off-the-shelf processors for everything? Well, the answer comes down to pure optimization. While general-purpose processors are great jacks of all trades, custom ASICs are the masters of one. Because they're purpose-built, they are highly optimized for specific, demanding tasks, like, say, powering your smartphone with minimal battery drain, acting as insanely fast AI accelerators, or managing complex automotive systems in real time.
Here's our roadmap for today. Number 1, the power of custom chips. Number 2, Phase 1, the front end. Number 3, Phase 2, the back end. And Number 4, final verification.
Let's start with Section 1. The power of custom chips, from specification to silicon.
This brilliantly illustrates where human intentions and ideas begin their long, incredible translation into physical atoms. The complete ASIC design flow is broken down into 3 massive buckets: front-end design, back-end design, and finally, fabrication. Transforming a behavioral idea into a physical chip is a monumental task, right? So to pull it off, designers utilize incredibly specialized software tools from companies like Cadence, Synopsys, and Siemens EDA throughout this entire workflow.
Moving right along to Phase 1, the front end, blueprinting the microscopic city.
So, we haven't poured any concrete yet. This is where we do our urban planning. The design always begins with requirement analysis and system architecture. You can imagine this step as strictly zoning the city. Before we do anything else, we have to define our strict budgets. How much performance do we need? How much power can we consume? And how much physical area on the silicon do we actually have to work with? Once those budgets are locked in, the architecture partitions the chip into distinct blocks. We figure out exactly where the main processing downtown, the CPU, is going to go, and where the memory warehouses need to be located to support it.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how engineers actually capture these complex ideas. They don't just sit around drawing pictures, they write architectural blueprints using RTL code, which stands for Register Transfer Level. Using hardware description languages like Verilog or VHDL, designers write behavioral code describing the exact logic of the chip. This is code that literally tells a tiny component exactly how to behave on every single tick of the clock. But, humans make mistakes, right? So before we buy any physical building materials or send anything off to a factory, we have to simulate our code to make absolutely sure the city's logic actually works. We call this functional verification. We use test benches, both directed and random, to apply stimuli and check the outputs. Using simulation tools like Synopsys VCS, we rigorously validate the correctness of our code. Because, think about it, if the logic is flawed here, the entire city will collapse later on.
All right, that brings us to Phase 2, the back end, constructing the metropolis.
We are shifting gears now. This is the magical moment where our digital behavioral blueprints finally start turning into physical, geometric reality. The first critical step is logic synthesis. You can basically think of this as ordering our raw building materials. Logic synthesis translates our text-based RTL code into a gate-level netlist. So instead of behavioral code, we're now dealing with actual standard cells. These are pre-characterized logic gates like AND, OR, and flip-flops provided directly by fabrication foundries like TSMC or Samsung. Specialized tools systematically optimize all of this for timing, area, and power.
From there, we enter the physical design flow, moving through floor planning, placement, clock tree synthesis, and routing. This is a highly automated physical construction sequence. Physical design software like Cadence completely takes over here.
During placement, the tool physically positions millions of these tiny standard cells onto the microscopic die area, carefully managing spatial congestion to ensure everything fits perfectly without cramming. It's like a giant puzzle.
So, the crucial point here is clock tree synthesis, or CTS. It's the perfectly balanced distribution of the clock signal to minimize skew and insertion delay. Basically, think of the clock tree as the city's master traffic light system. It ensures that every single microscopic neighborhood on the chip synchronizes perfectly, so data moves exactly when it's supposed to, without any catastrophic collisions.
After everything is placed and synchronized, we have routing. This involves creating global and detailed connections across multiple metal layers. It is essentially laying down an unimaginably complex, three-dimensional network of microscopic roads and power lines. Why? To electrically connect all those millions of individual standard cells together so they can actually talk to each other.
Next up, final verification and sign-off. The ultimate building inspector.
Let's move to this next phase and see how it builds up to the absolute ultimate stress test before we send our highly expensive design out to the physical fabrication plant. When you consider the sheer intense visual density of an actual chip layout, with millions of overlapping microscopic shapes spanning multiple layers, human eyes are completely useless here. This is exactly why a rigorous automated building inspector is absolutely mandatory to catch any microscopic errors before expensive manufacturing begins.
We use a whole battery of automated tests to officially sign off on the design. Let's de-jargonize these acronyms so you know exactly what they mean. First, DRC, or Design Rule Check. Think of this as enforcing strict geometric zoning laws, making sure the foundry's manufacturing rules for minimum width and spacing are perfectly followed. Next, LVS, Layout versus Schematic. This acts like a strict blueprint audit, verifying that our final physical layout actually matches our original netlist. And ERC, Electrical Rule Check, well, that's like an inspector scanning the entire city for catastrophic short circuits or floating gates.
One specific test definitely gets its own spotlight, though. Static Timing Analysis, or STA. STA verifies timing closure without relying on simulation, checking constraints across all PVT corners. That stands for process, voltage, and temperature. What you should really take away from this is that STA ensures our chip will run flawlessly regardless of real-world conditions. To put that into perspective, it guarantees the microscopic city functions perfectly whether the chip is sitting in a freezing car in the middle of winter or cooking inside a boiling hot data center. So what does this all mean? It brings us to a final, pretty profound question. How many custom ASICs silently power your world right now? From the smartphone in your pocket, to the car you drive, to the massive servers running the internet, you are constantly surrounded by these invisible, hyper-advanced microscopic cities. I hope this explainer has challenged you to consider the absolutely astonishing engineering hidden entirely out of sight, working tirelessly to power our modern lives.